When was the last time you poured fortified wine in the glass? Was it last week or maybe it was years ago? Do you remember what it was? There are a number of classic examples of fortified wine, each with unique aromas and flavor. There are sherry, port, Madeira, vermouth, and marsala. In this episode, we're going to reveal three very interesting fortified wines from Spain and Portugal, and we hope you'll be inspired to find them. Pair that bottle with something or someone special. Let us know what you're pouring and subscribe to our channel for more. Fortified wine is a wine that contains a distilled spirit such as brandy. In addition to its higher alcohol content, fortified wine boasts a unique flavor and aroma that sets it apart from regular varieties. Before modern refrigeration, fortified wine was produced in an attempt to prevent wine spoilage by increasing its alcohol content.
The wine undergoes a process, fermentation, as we know, where yeast converts sugar from the grapes into alcohol and carbon dioxide. For fortified wines, distilled spirits like brandy are added at varying times during the fermentation process, and this boosts the alcohol content and alters the flavor of the final product.
If the spirits are added before the fermentation process is complete, the fortified wine acquires a sweeter taste. Conversely, the wine tends to be drier if the spirits are added later.
There are a few classic fortified wines that include port, sherry, Madeira, marsala, and vermouth. Fortified wines are higher in sugar content, alcohol, and calories than non-fortified wines. Maybe that's why I like them so much.
Well, I have flown off to the island of Madeira. It is an island outside of Portugal that's only 35 miles long, and it is a wine named for an island and an island named for a wine. So very special. So Madeira is not the stuff that your grandmother cooked with, and it's not a drink for old men with cigars in their hands. Although, let's be fair that the truth is that our founding fathers of the United States drank Madeira after signing the Declaration of Independence. But today, Madeira is a wine that, with its incredible acidity, excites the palate. Madeira is a volcanic subtropical island with a spring climate year-round and the most magnificent views you've ever seen. It truly is a magical island that I spent a few days at. There are at least 7 microclimates on this small island, and it can be sunny and warm on one side while cool and rainy on another place. And all the vines are planted in super tiny plots on steep slopes. There are approximately 2,000 growers on the island. However, there are only 8 producers of Madeira, and they date back to 1820, some of the oldest ones. So Madeira is a fortified wine, and there are numerous styles. The grapes are picked and begin fermentation, as we discussed, and then a distillate is added to stop fermentation. And as Christine had said, the alcohol is added depending on the grape variety and will result in varying levels of sweetness. What's unique about Madeira is that it is then matured in the Cantero system, where the wine is placed in barrels in a lodge, where they are slowly warmed and exposed to oxygen as they age for years. So heat and oxygen are two things we don't normally associate with wine, but that is what makes Madeira unique. Madeira gets its character from the aging process, and each grape that is grown there gives a different level of sweetness and different aromas and flavors. We've got Cercial and Verdelho that do a dry and semi-dry style, Bual that is a medium sweet style, Malvasia that is a sweet style, and then you've also got Tarantas and Tinta Negra, the only red grape grown on the island. So I have a very special bottle of Justinos Madeira.
Ooh.
It is a 10-year-old Bual being the grape. Justinos was established in 1870, making them one of the oldest companies on the island, as well as one of the largest producers. And the winemaker is a woman, Dina Luis, who's not originally from the island. She is from the mainland of Tejo. And that means that she wasn't raised with Madeira in her blood, and she's had to go through over the last 10 plus years that she's been there, tasting every single barrel, 4,000 barrels that she had to taste to understand each wine as it was aging so that she could make a final blend, such as this 10-year-old Bual. So Bual, as I said, is a semi-sweet one. This is a 10-year style. It is $35 United States, US. And it is a medium sweet style with like coffee and nutty notes, a little kind of brown sugar. It's super focused, balanced. It's got a lot of acidity, a ton. So even with all the sweetness, that acidity is just searing. And you can see by the dark color. And this is a wine that I would pair with cheeses or dried fruits, but I could even do it with tropical fruits and chocolate.
Oh,
So,
That sounds delicious, Allie.
I know. Chocolate.
so
I've
good.
not been to Madeira and I haven't been to Spain, which is where sherry hails from. It's on my bucket list too. Sherry is a huge category ranging in styles from fino, the lightest and driest, to cream or PX sherry, which are sweet dessert, unctuous styled wines. Today, I'm focusing on the fino style. Fino sherry, the Palomino grape, is the most important variety. It's neutral and acidic and makes up for 90% of all of the vineyard plantings in Jerez. Sherries are aged following the traditional Solera system, which is where the wines are fractionally blended in 600-liter American casks stacked in rows on top of each other, from oldest at the bottom to youngest at the top. Each year, 10 to 30% of the wine from the bottom layer is removed for bottling. The space that's left is refilled from the rows above, going row by row to the top, where all the new wine is added at the top, starting the process all over again. Fino sherry is aged under a blanket of flor. What is flor? Flor is yeast. And what it does is it covers the wine and it keeps it clear and dry and protected from oxidization. I went to the Tio Pepe Palomino Fino Sherry. This was founded by the Gonzalez Baez family in 1835. And I will show you how clear and unoxidized this wine is. Look at how gorgeous that is. It's currently in the 5th and 6th generation's hands, and they are just a consistent producer. On the nose, there's toasted notes, toasted nuts, almonds specifically, and it's like sourdough rising off of the glass. It's quite incredible, and a hint of citrus in there. Personally, this is like, I keep saying almonds because I want almonds with this wine, pairing it with almonds or olives or just any Spanish tapa, perfection.
I am so ready to get on a plane and go to Europe again, Spain and Portugal. I cannot wait. And I was in Portugal, in Porto in the north, about a year ago, September, and I just can't wait to go back there too. Port, this is what I'm talking about, right here in my glass, originates in Portugal, but is now produced worldwide. It can only be termed port if it's made in Portugal. Many different indigenous grapes are used in port, but they're usually, well, there are 20 red grapes, that are available to be used, but usually port houses use about 4 to 6 in their wines. Brandy is added to the wine before it's finished fermenting, and that results in a sweeter flavor. So my port is a tawny port from Quinta de la Rosa, a small family-owned working vineyard and winery. It's located about a half mile from Pinhal, this lovely little town on the Douro River. It's unusual because visitors are able to see the process of their port from the vineyard all the way to the wine in the bottle. Although most port houses in the Douro Valley store their finished product at Vila Nova de Gaio, found in Porto, those at Quinta de la Rosa complete the entire process at their estate. They really want to maintain the quality and just make sure everything is under their control. So Sophia Bergquist is the 3rd generation owner of Quinta de la Rosa, and she's the only British woman managing a port house. Originally, the Quinta de la Rosa was her grandparents, her grandmothers. The traditional grape varieties in this tawny port are mainly A-graded grapes: Touriga Nacional, Touriga Francesca, Tinta Barroca, and Tinta Roriz, grown on the Quinta, as opposed to further down the river. It's a little bit more rainy further on down. So they wanted to have more concentrated grapes. The lighter style tawny, oh my gosh, nutty, caramel, honey. I just love this. And not too long ago, I paired it with creme brulee and almond biscotti that we dipped into the tawny port. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, honestly, I want some now. I've got the port. Now I just need that almond biscotti.
Getting so hungry.
I know.
And I want almonds and olives.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I know what we're going to be doing when this is over. I love your ports though, your fortified wines, Allison and Christine. I just think a glass of fortified wine is exceptional. And honestly, 3 of us, we found one for each of our palates. It's fabulous. So for everyone that's watching, if you liked this video, find a bottle of fortified wine right now to try it. Let us know what you found. Share your thoughts in the comments and click on the bottom or the button on the side and subscribe to our channel. So cheers to fortified wine.